My chosen one, pause for a moment because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. This message has been released with urgency, and it carries a warning that could change the direction of your life forever. Right now, as you listen, there is a financial mistake forming, quietly, subtly, almost invisibly, and if it is not stopped, it will drain more than your money. It will touch your peace, your purpose, and your future. Archangel Michael steps forward at this very moment, not in fear, but in authority. His voice is clear. Do not ignore this. Time is shorter than you think. This is not just advice, it is divine intervention. Out of countless people, you were guided here for a reason. Because something you are doing, or about to do, is standing at a dangerous edge. You may not see it yet. That is what makes it so dangerous. This financial mistake does not arrive loudly. It doesn't knock on your door and announce destruction. Instead, it whispers. It hides in everyday choices, in habits that feel normal, even harmless. It convinces you that everything is under control, while slowly pulling you away from stability and abundance. And by the time most people realize what has happened, it is already too late. But not for you. Not today. There is a reason your spirit felt a pull to this message. There is a reason your attention has not drifted away. Archangel Michael is placing a shield around your awareness right now, allowing you to see what others have missed. This is your moment of awakening. Listen carefully, because this is where everything shifts. This mistake is not just about numbers, bills, or income. It is deeply connected to your alignment. When your financial decisions are out of alignment with wisdom and truth, they create cracks, small openings where loss begins to seep in. And those cracks grow silently. You may call it bad luck, delays, or unexpected expenses, but in reality, it is a pattern forming beneath the surface. And here is the shocking truth. Most people never realize they are trapped in this cycle. They continue repeating the same choices, hoping for different results, until their resources, energy, and confidence are drained. Archangel Michael does not want that for you. That is why this message feels intense. That is why it feels urgent. Because you are standing at a crossroads right now. One path leads to regret, stress, and struggle. The other leads to clarity, protection, and restoration. And the difference between these two paths is a single decision. A decision you are about to become aware of. Feel that stirring inside you, that slight discomfort, that inner nudge. That is not fear. That is divine guidance awakening your discernment. You are being shown something before it fully unfolds. This is rare. This is powerful. This is your advantage. Stay with this message. Do not brush it aside. Because what is about to be revealed next will expose the exact nature of this financial trap, and once you see it clearly, you will never fall into it again. Tell me when you are ready, and I will continue. There is something you must understand now, and it may shake you a little, but it will also set you free. The financial mistake Archangel Michael is warning you about is not a single action. It is a pattern, a silent trap that builds slowly, decision by decision, until it becomes a force that begins to control your outcomes instead of you controlling it. This is how the trap begins. It often starts with small compromises, a choice made out of convenience rather than wisdom, a decision driven by emotion rather than clarity. You may tell yourself, "It's just this once, or I'll fix it later." But what you don't see is that each of these moments is planting a seed. And over time, those seeds grow into habits that shape your financial reality. Archangel Michael reveals that the danger is not in the size of the mistake, but in its repetition. Think about this carefully. How many times have you ignored a small inner voice telling you to pause before spending, before committing, before trusting something that did feel completely right? That voice was not random. It was guidance. And every time it is ignored, the connection weakens, making it easier to fall deeper into the same cycle. This is the silent trap, disconnection from discernment. When you lose that alignment, your financial decisions become reactive instead of intentional. You begin to move based on pressure, urgency, or even fear. You may chase opportunities that promise quick results but carry hidden consequences. You may hold on to patterns that feel familiar but are quietly draining your resources. And the most dangerous part, it feels normal. That is how this trap hides in plain sight. It blends into everyday life, disguising itself as routine. You may look around and see others doing the same things, making the same choices, and you convince yourself that it must be safe. But Archangel Michael is clear. What is common is not always what is correct. There is also a deeper layer to this. This mistake is often rooted in a mindset of lack, a belief, sometimes unconscious, that there is not enough, that you must act quickly before something is gone, or that you are not fully supported. This mindset pushes you into decisions that are rushed, ungrounded, and disconnected from wisdom. It creates urgency where there should be patience and fear where there should be trust. And when this mindset drives your financial behavior, it creates instability. You may notice cycles where money comes in, but it does not stay, or situations where unexpected expenses appear again and again. This is not coincidence. It is a pattern that reflects the inner alignment, or misalignment, that is guiding your actions. Archangel Michael is not bringing this to you to judge you. He is revealing it so you can break free from it. Because once you see the trap, it loses its power. Right now, you are being invited to observe your own patterns with honesty. Not with guilt, not with fear, but with clarity. Look at the decisions you have been making. Look at the habits that have formed over time. Ask yourself, are these choices leading you towards stability and growth, or are they quietly pulling you into cycles that repeat without progress? This awareness is your turning point. Most people never reach this level of clarity. They continue moving without questioning, without pausing, without realizing that the very thing they are doing daily is the source of their struggle. But you are not most people. You have been guided here to see what others cannot. And this is only the beginning. Because now that the nature of the trap is becoming clearer, the next revelation will go even deeper. You will begin to recognize the exact warning signs, the signals that show this mistake is already active in your life. Once you see those signs, you will no longer be able to ignore them. And that is where true transformation begins. Something within you already knows there have been signs. Quiet signals, repeating patterns, moments that didn't feel right, but were brushed aside. Now, Archangel Michael is bringing those signs into the light, because what you are about to recognize could be the very thing that has been holding your finances in a cycle. The first sign is repetition without progress. Look closely at your financial life. Have you noticed the same situations appearing again and again? Money comes in, but something unexpected takes it away. You try to move forward, but you find yourself back in the same position. This is not random. This is a pattern that is asking for your attention. Archangel Michael reveals that when a lesson is ignored, he repeats until it is understood. The second sign is a constant feeling of pressure. Decisions are made quickly, almost urgently, without giving yourself space to think clearly. You feel like you must act now or you will miss out. This pressure is not divine guidance. it is misalignment. True guidance comes with clarity and peace, even when it calls you to act. But when your choices are driven by stress or fear, you are stepping into the trap without realizing it. The third sign is ignoring your inner warning. There have been moments when something didn't sit right in your spirit. A financial decision, an offer, a commitment. Something inside you whispered, "Wait." But instead of listening, you moved forward anyway. And later, you felt the consequences. That inner voice is not imagination. It is discernment. And every time it is ignored, the connection weakens. Another powerful sign is emotional spending or decision-making. When your emotions begin to control your financial actions, whether it is stress, excitement, or even the need to prove something, you step out of alignment. Archangel Michael shows that when emotions lead, wisdom is pushed aside. And this creates choices that may feel right in the moment but bring imbalance later. Here is also the sign of avoidance. Avoiding looking at your finances closely. Avoiding difficult decisions. Avoiding truth. This may feel like temporary relief, but in reality, it allows the problem to grow silently. What is not faced cannot be corrected, and what is not corrected will continue to repeat. Then comes one of the deepest signs, loss of peace. Your finances begin to feel heavy. You think about money, and instead of feeling stable or hopeful, you feel tension. You may not even know why, but that inner unrest is a signal. Archangel Michael reveals that when your financial path is aligned, there is a sense of calm, even in uncertainty. But when you are off track, your spirit feels it before your mind understands it. Take a moment now. Reflect honestly, not with fear, but with awareness. How many of these signs have you experienced? Even one of them is enough to pause and realign. Because these are not coincidences, they are warnings. And here is the truth that may surprise you. Seeing these signs is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are being guided. Most people never recognize these patterns. They continue repeating them, unaware, until the consequences become too large to ignore. But you are being shown early. You are being given the opportunity to change direction before the damage deepens. This is your moment of awakening. Archangel Michael stands beside you, not to condemn, but to protect and redirect. He's showing you these signs so you can step out of the cycle and into clarity. You are not stuck. You are not trapped. You are being warned because you are meant to rise above this. Do not ignore what you have just recognized. Do not push it away or tell yourself it is not important. This awareness is the key to your freedom. Type "I see the truth" in the comments if this message is opening your eyes right now. Blessing code 528 has just been activated over your life. And as this truth settles into your spirit, understand this: what you have just received is not only for you. There are countless others walking in the same silent cycle, unable to see what you are now seeing. When you choose to support this message, you become a vessel that helps this light reach them. As it is written, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise being spoken over you right now. When you sow into truth, you open the flow of divine provision. If you feel this stirring in your heart, this is your moment to act. The PayPal link is in the description, and you will also find it in the QR code on your screen. This is not just support. It is a seed that carries purpose, impact, and blessing. Step into this moment with faith, sow with intention, and watch how alignment begins to restore what once felt uncertain. There is a deeper layer to this warning, something that goes beyond habits, beyond choices, beyond what you can see on the surface. Because the truth is, financial mistakes are never just about money. They are rooted in something much deeper, something hidden within your thoughts, your emotions, and your past experiences. And this is exactly where Archangel Michael is guiding your attention now. The real cause begins within. Many people try to fix their finances by changing external actions alone. They budget differently, they try new strategies, they attempt to control their spending. But even with all these efforts, they find themselves slipping back into the same patterns. Why? Because the root has not been addressed. And until the root is exposed, the cycle will continue. Archangel Michael reveals that one of the strongest roots behind this financial mistake is fear. Fear of not having enough. Fear of missing out. Fear of losing opportunities. This fear does not always appear in obvious ways. Sometimes it disguises itself as urgency, pushing you to act quickly without thinking. Other times, it hides behind hesitation, causing you to delay decisions that require courage and clarity. In both cases, fear is controlling the outcome. And when fear leads, wisdom is silence. There is also the root of lack, a mindset that quietly whispers, "There isn't enough for me." This belief may have formed long ago, perhaps from past struggles, upbringing, or moments where you experienced loss or limitation. Even if your situation has changed, this belief can remain, influencing your decisions without you realizing it. This is how it works. When you operate from lack, you either hold on too tightly or you act too quickly. You may struggle to release money when necessary, or you may spend without alignment, seeking temporary relief or validation. Both extremes come from the same place, a misalignment with truth. Because the truth is, you are not meant to live in lack. Another hidden root is comparison. Looking at others, measuring your progress against theirs, feeling pressure to match their lifestyle or achievements. This creates decisions that are not truly yours. You begin to act based on what you see, not based on what is right for your path. And this disconnect leads to choices that feel forced, unnatural, and ultimately unsustainable. Archangel Michael is clear about this. Your financial path is unique. When you step out of alignment with your own journey, you create instability. Then there is the root of avoidance. This is one of the most subtle yet powerful forces. Avoiding difficult truths. Avoiding responsibility. Avoiding the discomfort of change. It may feel easier in the moment to look away, to delay, to tell yourself you will handle it later. But avoidance does not remove the problem. It allows it to grow. And over time, what was once small becomes overwhelming. There is also something even deeper, your sense of worth. Many people unknowingly carry the belief that they are not worthy of stability, abundance, or financial peace. This belief shapes their actions in quiet ways. They may settle for less, accept unfavorable situations, or sabotage opportunities that could elevate them. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this clearly. You are worthy of alignment, stability, and provision. But until you believe this within yourself, your actions will continue to reflect doubt. Take a moment now. Breathe. Reflect. Which of these roots resonates with you? Is it fear? Is it lack? Is it comparison, avoidance, or self-worth? There is no judgment here, only awareness. Because the moment you identify the root, you begin to loosen its grip. This is where true transformation begins, not in the external, but in the internal. Archangel Michael is guiding you to look within, not to criticize yourself, but to reclaim your power. Because once you see what has been influencing your decisions, you can begin to shift it. You can begin to choose differently, not from fear, not from pressure, but from clarity and alignment. And this shift changes everything. What once felt confusing begins to make sense. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. And what once felt like a cycle starts to break. But there is something you must understand. This awareness is only the beginning. Because when these roots are left unchecked, they eventually lead to a turning point where the consequences become real and undeniable. And that moment is what many people are not prepared for. But you are being prepared now. There comes a moment that arrives quietly for some, suddenly for others, but when it comes, it changes everything. This is the point where the hidden pattern you have been walking in begins to reveal its consequences in a way that can no longer be ignored. Archangel Michael calls this the moment of awakening through impact. At first, it does not seem like a major shift. It may begin as a small financial strain, an unexpected expense, a delay in income, a decision that does not bring the results you expected. You might brush it off, telling yourself it is temporary. But then, something else follows. Another disruption, another pressure point. And before long, you begin to feel it. Something is not right. This is not coincidence. This is the pattern reaching its peak. Archangel Michael reveals that when the roots of fear, lack, and misalignment are not corrected, they eventually manifest in real-world consequences. It is as if everything that was hidden beneath the surface begins to rise at once, demanding your attention. And in that moment, many people feel overwhelmed, confused, even regretful. You may begin to replay your past decisions in your mind. You may think, I should have listened. I should have paused. I knew something felt off. That realization can feel heavy. It can feel like it came too late. But hear this clearly. If you are listening now, it is not too late for you. This message is reaching you before that moment fully unfolds. Archangel Michael is not showing you this to create fear. He is showing you this to give you an advantage. Because when you understand where a path leads, you have the power to change direction before you arrive there. Many people only wake up after the consequences have already taken hold. They learn through love, through stress, through situations that force them to change. But you are being offered something different. You are being given awareness before the fall. This is protection. Think about this carefully. How many people around you are moving through life unaware of the patterns they are repeating? They continue making the same decisions, ignoring the same signs, until they reach a point where the consequences can no longer be avoided. That moment often brings frustration, self-doubt, and a sense of being stuck. But that is not your path. Because right now, you are being shown what leads to that outcome. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian at this crossroads, revealing what lies ahead if nothing changes. Not to frighten you, but to empower you. Because once you see the direction clearly, you can choose differently. And this is where everything begins to shift. Instead of waiting for the moment of collapse, you can create a moment of correction. Instead of allowing the pattern to complete its cycle, you can interrupt it. You can pause, reflect, and realign before the consequences deepen. This is your turning point. But understand this, making this shift requires honesty. It requires you to acknowledge where you have been moving without awareness. It requires you to accept that certain patterns must change, even if they feel familiar or comfortable. Because what feels comfortable is not always what is safe. There is a powerful truth Archangel Michael wants you to hold on to right now. Every consequence you avoid today is a burden you will not carry tomorrow. Every correction you make now is a step towards stability, clarity, and peace. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be aware. And awareness leads to action. Action leads to transformation. As you stand in this moment, you are no longer the same person who began listening. You are someone who sees more clearly, who understands more deeply, who is being guided toward a better path. Do not underestimate this shift, because what happened next depends on what you choose to do with what you now know. There is a line that exists in your life right now, even if you cannot see it with your eyes. It is not drawn on the ground, but it is real. On one side of this line is protection, clarity, and steady growth. On the other side is confusion, repeated loss, and unnecessary struggle. And every financial decision you make gently moves you toward one side or the other. Archangel Michael is standing at this line, revealing something powerful. Your life is not controlled by chance. It is shaped by alignment. Many people believe that financial outcomes are random, that some are simply lucky while others are not. But this is not the truth being revealed here. There is a deeper system at work, one that responds to your awareness, your discipline, and your willingness to follow guidance. When you align with wisdom, you step under protection. When you ignore it, you step outside of that covering. This is where the difference begins. Those who walk in alignment are not free from challenges, but they move differently through them. They are guided. They pause when needed. They sense when something is off before it becomes a problem. Their decisions are not rushed or reactive. They are grounded. And because of this, even when difficulties arise, they are able to navigate them without falling into cycles of loss. This is divine protection at work. Archangel Michael describes it as a shield, not one that blocks every difficulty, but one that prevents unnecessary damage. It keeps you from stepping into traps that you cannot yet see. It redirects you when you are about to make a decision that could lead to regret. It strengthens your discernment so that confusion does not take hold. But here is what you must understand. This protection requires participation. You cannot ignore every warning, silence your inner voice, and continue acting out of fear or pressure, and still expect to remain under that shield. Protection flows where alignment is honored. It is not forced upon you. It is activated through your choices. This is where many people fall into financial destruction without realizing it. They disconnect from their discernment. They begin to rely only on external influences, what others are doing, what seems urgent, what promises quick results. They stop pausing. They stop listening. And slowly, they drift away from alignment. At first, nothing seems wrong. But over time, the consequences begin to appear. Decisions that once felt easy begin to carry weight. Opportunities that seem promising reveal hidden costs. Stability becomes harder to maintain. And instead of feeling guided, they feel uncertain, as if they are moving without direction. This is what happens when the connection is weakened. Archangel Michael is calling you back to that connection. He is reminding you that you are not meant to navigate your financial life blindly. You are meant to move with awareness, with intention, with a sense of inner clarity that keeps you grounded even in uncertain moments. This is what separates protection from disruption, not perfection, but connection. And here is something that may shift your perspective completely. Protection is not about having more money. It is about making decisions that preserve what you have and position you for growth. There are people with great resources who still walk in cycles of loss because they are not aligned. And there are those with modest beginnings who build stability over time because they honor wisdom in their choices. The difference is not in what they have, it is in how they move. Take a moment and ask yourself honestly, how have you been moving? Have your decisions been guided by clarity, or have they been driven by urgency and emotion? Have you been listening to that inner voice, or have you been pushing forward without pause? This is not a question of judgment. It is a question of awareness. Because the moment you become aware, you can begin to shift. Archangel Michael is not asking you to fear your past choices. He is guiding you to strengthen your present ones. Every decision you make from this point forward is an opportunity to step back into alignment. Every moment of pause, every act of discernment, every choice made with intention strengthens that protective covering around your life. You are not powerless in this. You are being shown how to move differently, how to think differently, how to respond differently. And as you begin to apply this awareness, you will notice something change, not all at once, but steadily. A sense of clarity begins to return. Decisions feel lighter, more grounded, and the patterns that once repeated begin to lose their hold. This is the beginning of restoration. But there is something even more powerful ahead, because within this warning, there is also an opportunity, a hidden opening that, if recognized, can shift your financial path in ways you did not expect. What you have received so far may feel intense, even unsettling, but here is the truth that changes everything. This warning is not here to limit you. It is here to unlock you. Hidden inside everything Archangel Michael has revealed is an opportunity so powerful that most people never recognize it. And that opportunity is this: you have been given the chance to shift your entire financial direction before the damage becomes permanent. This is rare. Most people only realize their mistakes after they have already paid the price. They look back with regret, wishing they had seen the signs earlier, wishing they had paused, wishing they had listened. But you are standing in a different position. You are seeing clearly before the full impact arrives. That means you are not just avoiding loss, you are being positioned for transformation. Archangel Michael calls this a divine interruption, an interruption to the cycle that was quietly forming in your life, an interruption to the patterns that would have continued repeating, and more importantly, an interruption that opens a new path, one that leads towards stability, clarity, and intentional growth. But here is where you must be careful. An opportunity like this can easily be missed if it is not recognized for what it truly is. Sometimes, when a warning comes, people focus only on what they need to avoid. They become cautious, even fearful, but they do not step into the new direction being offered. They stop one pattern, but they do not replace it with something better. And as a result, they remain stuck in a different way. That is not what you are being called to do. You are not just being asked to stop a mistake. You are being invited to build a new way of moving, one that is rooted in awareness, discipline, and alignment. This is where the real opportunity begins. Think about this moment as a reset. Everything you have seen, everything you have realized, is giving you a clean point of awareness. From here, your decisions can change. Your patterns can shift. The way you respond to financial situations can become more intentional, more grounded, more aligned with truth. This is not about perfection. It is about direction. Archangel Michael is guiding you to understand that even small shifts, when done consistently, create powerful results over time. A single decision made with clarity instead of urgency can prevent a chain of consequences. A moment of pause before acting can protect you from a mistake that will have repeated itself again and again. This is how transformation begins, not with something dramatic, but with something deliberate. There is also another layer to this opportunity: awareness of value. When you begin to move with alignment, you start to see money differently. It is no longer something that controls you or creates stress. It becomes something you manage with intention. You begin to understand where it should go, when to hold it, when to release it, and when to step back and wait. The shift changes your entire relationship with finances. Instead of reacting, you begin to respond. Instead of chasing, you begin to attract stability through wise decisions. Instead of feeling uncertain, you begin to feel grounded in your choices. And this is where growth starts to appear. Archangel Michael wants you to see this clearly. You are not being pulled away from something good. You are being redirected towards something better. Every pattern you release creates space for a stronger foundation. Every moment of awareness strengthens your ability to build something that lasts. But this opportunity requires one thing from you: willingness. Willingness to change. Willingness to pause. Willingness to let go of what feels familiar but is no longer serving you. Because transformation cannot happen if you continue to hold on to the same patterns that created the cycle. Take a moment right now and feel this truth. Your future is not fixed. It is being shaped by the choices you are making today. And because you are now aware, those choices carry even more power. You are no longer walking blindly. You are walking with insight. And as you continue forward, a decision is approaching, one that will define how you move from this moment on. There is a moment in every transformation where awareness is no longer enough. A moment where everything you have seen, everything you have understood, begins to press gently against your spirit, asking for something more. That moment is here now. And Archangel Michael is not speaking in whispers anymore. He is calling you to decide. Because clarity without action changes nothing. You have seen the pattern. You have recognized the signs. You have understood the roots. And you have been shown the consequences that could unfold if nothing shifts. But now, you are standing at the point where knowing must become doing. This is the decision that separates those who remain in cycles from those who rise out of them. And the truth is, this decision will not always feel comfortable. Letting go of familiar habits, even the ones that lead to struggle, can feel unsettling. There is a strange comfort in what you know, even when it is not serving you. But Archangel Michael is urging you not to confuse familiarity with safety. What feels normal is not always what is right. This is where your strength is tested, not in understanding but in action. You are being asked to take responsibility for your financial path, not in a way that brings pressure or fear, but in a way that brings ownership. Because when you take ownership, you take back control. You stop reacting to circumstances and begin shaping them through intentional choices. This is the shift. It may begin with something small, a pause before making a decision, a moment where you listen to that inner voice instead of ignoring it, a choice to step back from something that feels rushed or unclear. These moments may seem simple, but they carry power, because each one breaks the old pattern and reinforces a new direction. And as you repeat these actions, something begins to change. You start to feel a sense of control that was not there before. Not control over everything, but control over your responses, your decisions, your direction. The feeling of being carried by cycles begins to fade, replaced by a sense of grounded movement. Archangel Michael describes this as stepping into alignment through action. It is not about making perfect decisions every time. It is about making conscious ones. Decisions that come from awareness, not impulse. Decisions that are guided by clarity, not pressure. And over time, these decisions build a foundation that is strong, stable, and sustainable. But there is something else you must understand. This decision is not just about avoiding a mistake. It is about choosing a new identity. You are no longer the person who moves without awareness. You are no longer the person who ignores warning signs or follows patterns without question. You are becoming someone who sees clearly, who pauses, who chooses with intention. And this identity shift changes everything, because your actions will always follow who you believe you are. When you see yourself as someone who is aligned, disciplined, and aware, your decisions begin to reflect that naturally. You no longer have to force change. It becomes a part of how you move. Take a moment now. Feel this decision within you, not as pressure but as power. You are not being forced into anything. You are being invited into something greater. A way of living and deciding that protects you from unnecessary loss and positions you for steady growth. And this is your moment to say yes. Yes to awareness. Yes to change. Yes to alignment. Type "I choose alignment" in the comments if you are making this decision right now. Blessing code 819 has just been released over your path, activating clarity, discipline, and protection in your financial life. And as you step into this decision, understand this: it is not just changing your life, it is creating a ripple. There are others who are still trapped in the same cycles you are breaking free from right now. When you support this message, you become part of a greater flow, helping this light reach those who are still in darkness. The word declares, "Those who sow in faith shall reap in abundance," and this is being spoken directly over you in this moment. Your giving becomes a seed that multiplies beyond what you can see, touching lives, opening hearts, and releasing truth where it is needed most. If your spirit is moved, do not delay this act of obedience. The PayPal link is in the description, and the QR code is present for you right now. This is not just support, it is alignment in action. It is your way of stepping into the flow of giving and receiving. Move with intention, act with faith, and allow this decision to mark the beginning of a new path. Now that you have made the decision, something subtle but powerful begins to shift within you. It may not feel dramatic at first, but there is a quiet reordering taking place, a realignment that starts from within and gradually begins to shape your outer world. This is where Archangel Michael guides you into something deeper, aligning your finances with divine order. Because true stability is not built on effort alone. It is built on structure. Many people desire financial peace, but they move without order. They react instead of plan. They follow impulses instead of intention. And as a result, even when they experience moments of gain, they struggle to sustain it. What Archangel Michael is revealing now is that alignment requires more than awareness. It requires a system that supports your growth. Divine order is not complicated, but it is consistent. It begins with clarity, knowing where your resources are going, understanding your patterns without avoiding them. This is not about restriction. It is about awareness. When you bring clarity into your finances, you remove the confusion that often leads to repeated mistakes. Then comes interior dueca. Every financial decision must have a purpose. Whether you are spending, saving, or investing your time and energy, there must be a sense of awareness behind it. Archangel Michael emphasizes that when your actions are intentional, they carry strength. They are no longer scattered or reactive. They are focused and aligned. This is where discipline begins to take form. Discipline is often misunderstood as limitation, but in truth, it is protection. It keeps you from drifting into patterns that lead to loss. It creates boundaries that preserve your stability. And most importantly, it builds trust within yourself. The more disciplined you become, the more confident you feel in your ability to handle your financial path. And confidence creates momentum. You begin to notice that your decisions feel lighter, clearer. You no longer second-guess yourself as often. You pause when needed. You move when it feels right. This is the flow of alignment, where your inner clarity begins to match your outer actions. Archangel Michael also speaks of stewardship. To be a good steward means to respect what you have, regardless of the amount. It means recognizing that every resource, no matter how small, carries value. When you treat your finances with care and awareness, you create a foundation that can grow. But when you neglect or misuse them, instability follows. This is not about having more. It is about managing what is already in your hands. Here is a powerful shift that happens when you begin to see your finances as something entrusted to you rather than something that controls you. You stop acting out of fear or urgency, and you begin acting with purpose. You understand that every decision you make is shaping your future, step by step. And this awareness changes everything. Archangel Michael is guiding you to also invite stillness into your process. Not every decision needs to be made immediately. Not every opportunity requires a response. Sometimes, the most aligned action is to pause, to wait, to observe. This patience protects you. It keeps you from stepping into situations that are not right for you. It allows clarity to rise before commitment is made. And it strengthens your ability to discern what is truly aligned versus what only appears appealing on the surface. Take a moment now and feel this shift. You are no longer reacting, you are aligning. You are no longer moving without awareness. You are building with intention. This is how cycles are broken. Not through force, but through consistent, aligned action over time. And as you continue to move in this way, something remarkable begins to happen. The patterns that once held you start to dissolve. The pressure that once guided your decisions begins to fade. And in its place, a sense of stability begins to grow, quietly, steadily, but undeniably. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this clearly. You are building something now. Something that is not based on impulse or reaction, but on awareness and alignment. And because of that, it has the strength to last. But there is still one more step ahead. Because alignment is not just about creating structure, it is about sustaining it. And to do that, you must fully break free from the cycles that once pulled you back. You have come far in this journey of awareness, and now you are standing at a powerful threshold, the place where cycles are not just understood, but permanently broken. This is where Archangel Michael is guiding you to step into true freedom, not temporary change, not short-term improvement, but a lasting transformation that reshapes the way you move for the rest of your life. Because breaking a cycle once is not enough. Many people experience moments of clarity. They recognize their patterns, they make a few changes, and for a while, things begin to improve. But then, slowly and quietly, the old habits return. The same decisions reappear. The same patterns begin to rebuild themselves. And before they realize it, they are back where they started. Archangel Michael calls this the pull of the familiar. It is the force that tries to draw you back into what you have already known, even when you have outgrown it. It is subtle. It does not come as an obvious temptation. It comes as comfort, as ease, as the thought, it's not a big deal this time. And if you are not aware, this is how the cycle begins again. But you are not unaware anymore. You have seen the pattern. You have felt the consequences that could come. And now, you are being given the tools to make sure that cycle does not return. This is where consistency becomes your greatest strength. Transformation is not built in one decision. It is built in repeated decisions. Every time you choose awareness over impulse, you strengthen your new path. Every time you pause instead of rushing, you weaken the old pattern. Every time you act with clarity instead of emotion, you create a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. This is how cycles are broken permanently. Archangel Michael is guiding you to understand that your power lies in what you do daily, not occasionally. Small, consistent actions hold more strength than occasional large efforts. It is the daily discipline, the quiet awareness, the repeated alignment that creates a life that is stable and protected. There will be moments when the old way tries to return. You may feel a sudden urge to act quickly. You may feel pressure building again. You may even catch yourself thinking in the same patterns you once had. But this time, something is different. This time, you will notice it. And that awareness gives you a choice. Instead of following the pattern, you can pause. Instead of reacting, you can step back. Instead of repeating the cycle, you can redirect your path. This is the power you now hold. Archangel Michael reminds you that breaking free is not about resisting every thought or feeling. It is about recognizing them without being controlled by them. You are no longer a participant in the cycle. You are an observer with the ability to choose differently. This is freedom. And with freedom comes responsibility, not as a burden, but as a gift. The responsibility to protect the clarity you have gained. The responsibility to honor the awareness you have received. The responsibility to continue choosing alignment, even when it requires effort. Because what you are building now is not temporary. You are creating a new standard for your life. A new way of thinking. A new way of deciding. A new way of moving that supports stability instead of chaos. And over time, this new standard becomes your normal. The old cycle no longer feels comfortable. The old patterns no longer feel natural. They begin to feel out of place, disconnected from who you have become. This is how you know you have truly broken free. Take a moment and recognize this shift within yourself. You are not the same person who once moved without awareness. You are someone who sees, who pauses, who chooses with intention. And because of that, your path is no longer uncertain. It is being shaped with purpose. Archangel Michael stands with you in this transformation, strengthening your resolve, guiding your steps, and reminding you that you are fully capable of sustaining this new path. You are not doing this alone. And as you continue forward, something new begins to open before you. Not just freedom from the past, but the beginning of a future filled with clarity, growth, and lasting stability. A new path is opening before you now, and it does not look like the road you once walked. It feels different, lighter, more stable. This is not an illusion. It is the result of the shift you have made within yourself. What once felt uncertain is now becoming clear, and what once felt heavy is beginning to lift. Archangel Michael is revealing to you that this is the beginning of a new season, a season of financial alignment, wisdom, and steady growth. This is where many people become confused. They expect transformation to feel sudden, dramatic, and immediate. But what you are experiencing now is something deeper and more lasting. It is a gradual strengthening, a quiet confidence, a sense that you are no longer drifting, but moving with direction. This is how true change begins to take root. You may notice small signs at first. Decisions that once felt difficult now feel clearer. Situations that once caused stress now feel manageable. You are no longer reacting in the same way. You pause. You think. You listen. And because of this, your outcomes begin to change. This is alignment in motion. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this new path is not just about avoiding mistakes. It is about building a life that reflects stability and purpose. Every choice you make now carries intention. Every step you take is grounded in awareness. And over time, these steps begin to form something strong and unshakable. You are building trust within yourself. And this trust changes everything. When you trust your ability to make wise decisions, fear begins to lose its grip. You no longer feel rushed or pressured in the same way. You begin to understand that not every opportunity is meant for you, and that waiting is not weakness, it is wisdom. This understanding protects you from stepping into situations that do not align with your path. There is also a shift happening in how you view your resources. You no longer see money as something unpredictable or stressful. You begin to see it as something that can be managed, directed, and grown with care. This shift removes the emotional weight that once surrounded your finances and replaces it with clarity and control. Archangel Michael calls this the restoration of order. It is the point where your inner alignment begins to reflect in your outer reality, where your decisions create stability instead of chaos, where your awareness leads to growth instead of repetition. This is the path that many seek, but few fully reach, because it requires the kind of awareness and commitment you have chosen. And because you have chosen it, you are now walking in it. But there is something important you must hold on to as you move forward: patience. Growth that lasts does not happen overnight. It builds step by step, decision by decision. There may still be moments of challenge, moments where you are tested, moments where the old patterns try to appear again. But now, those moments no longer control you. They become opportunities to reinforce the new path you are walking. Each time you choose alignment, you strengthen your foundation. Each time you pause instead of reacting, you protect your progress. Each time you act with clarity, you move closer to the stability you are building. This is how your new reality takes shape. Archangel Michael is reminding you that you are not waiting for change, you are creating it. With every decision, every moment of awareness, every act of discipline, you are shaping a future that reflects wisdom and intention. And this future is already beginning to form. You may not see the full picture yet, but you can feel it. A sense of calm where there was once tension. A sense of direction where there was once confusion. A sense of possibility where there was once doubt. This is the beginning of financial blessing, not as something sudden or external, but as something built through alignment and sustained through awareness. You are stepping into a new identity now, one that is grounded, aware, and intentional, one that does not fall into cycles but rises above them. And because of this, your path is no longer uncertain. It is being guided with purpose. Hold on to this truth as you move forward, because what you are building now is not temporary. It is the foundation of a life that will continue to grow, strengthen, and flourish in the days ahead. Beloved soul, feel the stillness that has come over you now. The urgency that once pressed on your heart has softened into something else, something steady, something calm, something clear. This is not the end of a warning, this is the beginning of peace. Archangel Michael is near, and his presence now carries reassurance, not urgency. You have listened. You have received. And most importantly, you have chosen. There is no fear in this moment. What once felt uncertain hath been brought into the light. What once felt confusing has been made clear. And what once seemed like a hidden trap is now something you can recognize and avoid. This is the power of awareness guided by divine truth. You are no longer walking blindly. You are walking with vision. Archangel Michael wants you to rest in this knowing. You are protected. Not because life will never challenge you, but because you now carry the awareness to navigate those challenges wisely. The same patterns that once held power over you have lost their grip. The same decisions that once felt automatic now pass through a filter of clarity. You have changed, and because you have changed, your path has changed. Take a deep breath and feel that. There is no need to rush forward in fear of making mistakes. You are not the same person who once moved without awareness. You are someone who pauses, who listens, who discerns. And this alone places you in a position of strength that many never reach. Archangel Michael is placing a covering over your path, a sense of calm direction that will guide you even in moments of uncertainty. When confusion tries to rise, you will feel the nudge to pause. When pressure tries to push you, you will sense the need to step back. And when the right opportunity appears, you will recognize it not through urgency, but through peace. This is your new way of moving. You are not being led by fear anymore. You are being led by alignment. And as you continue on this path, you will begin to see the fruit of your choices. Stability will grow where there was once inconsistency. Clarity will remain where there was once confusion. And peace will settle where there was once stress. This is not temporary. This is the result of a shift that has taken place within you, a shift that cannot be undone because it has been rooted in truth. You have not only heard this message, you have allowed it to transform you. Archangel Michael leaves you with this final assurance. You are not alone in this journey. Every step you take in awareness is seen. Every decision made in alignment is strengthened. And every moment you choose clarity over confusion, you are supported. Walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with peace. Walk forward knowing that you have been guided away from a mistake that could have cost you deeply, and guided toward a path that will restore and sustain you. Type "I walk in divine wisdom" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1441 is now activated, sealing your path with clarity, protection, and lasting financial peace. And as this peace settles into your spirit, hear this call as an extension of what has just been revealed. The same light that exposed what was hidden in your life is meant to reach others who are still walking in darkness, unaware of the cycles they are trapped in. When you give, you are not supporting a channel. You are releasing light into someone else's path. The Lord declares, "Cast your bread upon the waters, and it shall return to you multiplied," and this is alive over you right now. When you sow into this mission, you are stepping into a divine flow where your seed becomes a river, carrying truth, awakening, and breakthrough to souls who need it. If you feel that pull in your spirit, this is your moment to respond. I am choosing to sow into this message so others can be awakened too. The PayPal link is in the description, and the QR code is placed before you. This is not a transaction. It is a prophetic act of alignment. Release your seed with faith. Step into obedience without hesitation, and receive the overflow that follows those who move when called.